Hi there, it's Beau from Motif. Here's a found objects activity that you can do. It starts off as a scavenger hunt, basically. What you need to do is find some instruments, some things around the house that you can use as musical instruments. So what that is something that's resonating. And that's stuff like this. Usually it's metal, but it can be plastic. So like this has a bit of resonating to it. Maybe a sieve, something like that as well, or even a bowl. Now these things, then you put something else with it. So, for example, you hit it with a stick, or you scrape it with another thing. The idea is to have a contrast of sounds, short and long. Short sounds and long sounds. It's difficult to find the long sound instruments, so that's really the challenge. So if you take your resonating object and you find a tool or an implement to play in that, so you can use a stick, your hand, or something like this. And create something musical. So the first step is finding your instruments, what that is, even if you're fortunate to have one of these, or one of these, or one of these. The idea is to find an instrument first. What that is something that's resonating, something that makes sound. Okay? The next thing is, well, where you find it. You got to find it around the house or in the garage, maybe. The next part is how you make sound out of it. And that is really, you got to develop a technique. So like the golf ball and the frying pan, you've got to practice that technique. Now something like this with some rocks in it, that one's kind of easy. But you also have to practice that technique, work on it, so that you can control those sounds. These guys are pretty easy because you just squeeze them, but still you've got to work out a technique that is musical. Maybe you come up with some rhythms. Okay, you got to practice. Then the final thing is thinking about music. That is structuring it. So you have maybe something that doesn't have any pulse, or something that you can't dance to. So something like using your golf ball in the fry pan, or maybe something like this. That's the first part, introduction to the song. The next part is maybe something that's more rhythmic, and that's where you bring in your these guys. Something you've practiced, and then you can end the song with, again, something that doesn't have any pulse. Golf ball and fry pan, etc. There you go. So tell us a story. When you're making your piece of music, start with the idea. Give us an introduction. Then end the story with something. Again, maybe you end with something that's quiet. Maybe it ends abruptly. But this is up to you. Work with your other musicians and create a musical piece. Create your story and have some fun with it.